Hey, how's it going? I'm just posting around that I'm streaming, so for all my adoring fan, so they can find me. What's up, Eisenheim? Thank you. This is my Geon Venom. I do not have any problems with the keycap sitting the right way. Should I? I wonder why you're asking me that question now. Is there something you see that I do not? Anywhere else? No, I think that's good. Oh, we'll put it on Kevin's, and that's it. The key below my backspace on two of my boards have that issue. Where was it like sitting off kilter left to right, up and down? Is it not seating all the way? You know, actually, I bet I know what it is. So when you have ISO support on a keyboard, this one doesn't have it. Do I have one around here that does? What do I got? Maybe, hold on. Does the Macross have ISO support? I think the Macross has ISO support. So, nope. Right when I need it. None of my keyboards have ISO support. When you have a keyboard that has ISO support, since the key orients, the backslash key orients sideways, it has a tendency to not want to sit properly. You got to apply a little bit of force to it. That's one thing I can think of off the top of my head. That'd be something I would look at, because I had to give it a little bit of extra oomph usually. I mean, theoretically, a PP plate could also sit, like, since it has so much give, it could not seat properly and cause that. But more than likely, I would say that it's probably because the ISO has the key turned. But I mean, I don't know specifically which keyboard you're talking about. It's not this, because this is a Hall Effect keyboard. Not that it matters. So the first thing we're going to be looking at today is going to be this. This is the Hero 84. I got it at an auction, which is why the case is all beat up, which means it's also already been opened. Fancy. Less fancy. So this is a non-exploded 75% keyboard, the Hero 84 by Aula. Is everybody having a good Sunday? I don't know why I took this out. I don't need that. What am I doing? I'm going crazy over here. But it's a, like I said, it's a non-exploded 75%, so everything is compact in here. But it does have a function row along the top. It has literally more than every key you would want to have on a keyboard, because it has the insert key, which is the worst fucking key of all time. Not of all time. Of recent times, it is the worst key of all time. If that makes sense. So this is supposed to have a ribbon that goes through here. Mine obviously didn't come with it. Apparently they really wanted to keep that for themselves. I don't understand. But it has this, the Wooting style wrist holder thingy. There is metal accents along the side, which is where you have your USB-C. It's very plain. The other side. And then the back is a big light bar, which we will take a look at right meow. It's actually very nicely diffused. So, yeah, this is the basic Aula. The switches, let's take a look. So yeah, you can see here the wristband that did not come with mine. It has extreme response, which is a nonsensical word. 80% layout. It's not actually an 80% layout, but neon light box, we know that. It does support 8K hertz polling rate, which we'll take a look at in the software. 128K scan rate, which is great. It has a carbon fiber plate, apparently. The switches that are in here are these black boxy switches. What's up, Notice? How are you, man? Happy Sunday. Hope y'all are doing great. Rapid trigger, we'll take a look at that. We've already gone over that. So yeah, the switches in this one are the Black King switches. So it is the heaviest of the 3 switches, which I'm fine with because I like a little weight to my switches, even if they are Hall effect. And we'll take a look at that switch in just a little bit because we're actually going to rebuild this with Gateron Jade Deltas. So you've got your plate foam, fiber switch base pad, which I assume is the essentially a PE sheet. What's up, Shark? Hey, man. Happy Sunday. I've been telling that to everybody because it's Sunday. Seemed like the time. Sound dampening pad, which is going to be a PET sheet. Case foam. And then there is a silicone weight in the bottom to give it some weight. I'm doing all right. We were cleaning all day yesterday, trying to get some stuff in order before Freya and my birthdays fall 2 weeks apart at the beginning of June, and so we're gonna have some people over around that time, and yeah. Not sponsored by Coke, but I would take some of that sweet Coca-Cola money if they offered it to me. Thank you, thank you. It has 2-stage flip-out feet. This little aluminum accent on the bottom. Oh, hi. Hold up. 2-stage flip-out feet. So, but I mean, the angle on this thing is already plenty. I don't know why you would ever need to flip out even the lowest stage of feet. I mean, it just sits at a good angle on the desk, even if you tend towards a higher angle. Unless you've become used to typing on the new Ryzen keyboard, then maybe you'd want that. Oh, so there are 3 different plates that you can get with it. The aluminum, the FR4 gold plated, and the carbon fiber. I think this is actually the aluminum, but we'll see. RGB. It has an online driver, which is good and bad. Yes, it is very reminiscent of the Melgeek HE board. Actually, right down to the fact that I'm pretty sure these are essentially comm switches, just recolors. It's going to tell us our typing angle, which is really what nope, it's not going to. Okay, so let's do a quick typing test as a base starting point. I'm going to pause the music real quick and get rid of this. And then let's do a typing test. Very weird. Did I already... I was playing around with this. Did I put some other switches in and not take out the right... No? So yeah, aluminum plate. I assume that's just probably because these are inconsistently lubed. Hey, what's going on, man? Happy Sunday. No problem with the lurking, of course. Always love it. The more the merrier. If you happen to be around, want to hear something, talk about something, let me know. But yeah, so that is the base configuration. You have the RGB glow. Let me go. What's up, man? How are you? Happy Sunday. And happy Mother's Day. Yes, yes, it's Mother's Day here in the U.S. If you all celebrate that. I don't know why you wouldn't. Moms are great. Unless they're not. We're going to take a look at the software a little bit later. And... But, like I said, we are going to be putting in some Jade Delta switches. And then we will be using the Rohan keycap set. Now, I'm using the Rohan keycap set only because my Indigo keycap set, for some reason, my plus isn't in the box, and so I can't, or I don't want to use that set. Because I was going to use that, because it's purple. So instead, and I want to have a point of comparison. When we build the Wooting a little bit later, I am going to be building that with the Walkman drop set. I wanted to kind of keep at least a little bit of consistency. So, I just don't know how it's going to work with the purple. Maybe I'll just do it anyway. I can always just use an alternate key or an accent key. What do y'all think? Well, I got some time to think about it. We will bag these. No. So yeah, these are double shot PBT keycap. Not especially thick. Which is going to lend somewhat to that sound. Now, of course, let's take a look at that website one more second. I wanted to see. They do not. I'm just going to look and see how much this is currently going for. It's not on their website. But, so this is an 84 key keyboard, which means that in order to purchase the switches we're going to put in it, you are going to spend $90 because they're essentially $1 a switch. What's going on, Piano Stan? How are you? Happy Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. That's a thing for you. Hey, I have hair. There's a little bit of hair on the sides right now. I really need to shave it, but I haven't. I've been lazy. So you can see here there are plate mounted stabs, yeah, so we will not be getting into this today. As far as taking out the plate foam or anything, it does not really encourage that. It is a tray mount, just like a lot of other Hall Effect keyboards. So I'm building the Wooting today, right? And I was planning on building the Wooting today. And then this morning, I'm like, hey, look. Hibio just did a video where he builds a Wooting. It's like he's watching me or something. And then I'm like, I watched the video. And he's like, I'm like, why are you leaving out, like, things and getting things sort of wrong on some of these? And I'm like, what's going on? Well, I mean, he's Hibio, so he's really doing it for entertainment. He's not really what I would consider to be, like, a great source of information. Like, so this is, he was talking about adding the gasket mount using the Zoom 64, which is true. Utilizing the new, utilizing the new Zoom 64, which he has. I do not have mine yet. It does give the ability to put a gasket mount on a Hall Effect keyboard, which is great. I have the keyboard I started with is Geon Venom 60 that is currently in the Desktop Tribe DT60 case, which is also a gasket mount case for Wooting compatible keyboards, GH60 compatible keyboards. However, the Wooting module itself, I don't know if y'all are interested in this switch. It is a solid bottom, kind of a plain Jane switch. It's got your light diffuser here, black case, just a, like I said, it's nothing to write home about. I'm not terribly impressed. I find that these large box, basically COM and Magneto variant switches, end up being extra loud and extra, like, hollow plasticky sounding. I'm not a big fan. So, yeah. So anyway, the Hibio video. So the Wooting module and the actual Wooting version that he had, he did not bother to mention or even show. He was more impressed with showing himself prying off the the plate from the PCB, which, okay, you know, on a cat hair, on a mechanical keyboard, it's stupid. He loves doing it because it's one of his shticks, one of his bits, but it's, you know, they're held in there really nicely. So prying it off, well, like I said, while it's dumb, is kind of, I'm not going to say impressive, but when you're talking about magnetic, there's just like little plastic pins, and more than likely when he did that, he broke like half of them. So not really that impressive, even more dumb. Just, but going back to my original point, the new Wooting modules are essentially a half foam. It has a silicone outside with a pour-on alpha, and that silicone outside acts as a O-ring mount. So essentially, it comes with a gasket mount. But he was more interested in showing off his ability to pry little plastic pins from a keyboard where he probably broke half of them than to actually giving any useful information. See, on this one, I've already broken the pins off of this one. And I'm going to set it to the side. I'll use it if I need. Which I might, because this is 84. And I think I have 90. And we'll just use it. They're not strictly necessary. They don't serve much of a purpose. Guide pins. I mean, this is currently being held in by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different under screw points. The PCB is being held to this aluminum plate. This thing ain't going. Shit. Properly. You're not. Of course, there is this factor. Because I just broke a pin. Then there was the talk about the Wooting software being the best software, and then just at the bottom, he puts asterisk, not subjective. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's subjective. Because pretty much every one of the major manufacturers, including the Aula, and we'll take a look at the Aula software a little bit later when we're looking at the Wooting software, because I'm going to do a big software roundup of like 4 different HE companies' softwares, including Geon's software and Monsgeek software. Oh, and Maker software. So 5. Although Maker has a brand new TMR board that's going to be dropping, and they're going to be sending me one of those, so that'll be nice to take a look at. I hope I have enough. Maybe I don't have enough. Oh, I definitely don't have enough. Oh, nice. What are you rebuilding it with? I have not rebuilt my flip in forever because it really is just nice. Alright, so I only have 6 switches left, so we'll just do the last 2 rows. I should have thought about this. Oh, macchiatos. Interesting. I don't know that I have. As a matter of fact, I know. I've never actually tried the macchiato. So we're going to fill out the last 2 rows with these. These are the Wingtree Yuchi. Should have planned ahead. But it'll give us a chance to kind of compare them, sort of, to each other. At least I know I have enough crystals for the wooting build. Hey, come back. Now the Yuchi switches are a good deal cheaper. They are a clacky switch though, so keep that in mind. But it's got that signature. It's got a good signature clack. It's a solid sound. Wingtree has been really killing it, if you ask me. Alright, and I've already convinced myself that I do need to go grab that indigo set, so I'm going to do that real quick. And I will be right back. And then I went and grabbed it, and it was that keycap set is already mounted. So yes, we will be using this. This is the Drop DCD Rohan set. It's not really going to go with the purple, but it will go with everything else. Are you changing the keycaps in the flip? Oh, wait, what am I doing? No, that's right. I forget, what color is your flip? No, wait. That's wrong. Right, that's the stupid freaking insert key. Good traction. Come on. Black. Ooh. Now, are you running that Win key, Win keyless, HHKB, or like, do you use any of the blockers? I wish I had bought the blockers. Thought about it, and then I thought about it again. Yeah. See, this is my only problem with this purple accent at the top. Is that if you wanted to use a different color keycap set. See, I don't really care for Win keyless, but I do kind of like HHKB for some reason. I do not know why. This, by the way, is my favorite font. It is the Unseal font. That is wrong and stupid and wrong. So why are you stupid and wrong? Oh, you're right. So the Drop DCD, which obviously you can't get anymore because, well, actually you can still get a lot of things at Micro Center for Drop because apparently they still have a bunch of Drop stuff. Why is there an extra key here? Because my D's. Where's my D? Oh, duh. So duh. Yeah, I was in Micro Center yesterday. You can still get the Harry Potter custom 80 for $300 for a company that doesn't really exist anymore. I'm like, wow, that's ballsy. I mean, I guess the warranty is still handled by Corsair, so Yeah, I picked up the custom 65 while they were going out of sale with a bunch of things. I actually mean to do is the black speech version. I mean to do an unboxing of that at some point. But then again, man, you've had a lot going on. Oh, that's fine. The kitting on this is actually pretty fantastic. Yes, you are still on the internet. For now. I don't know what that means. Alright, so we're gonna grab you. Oh, and then I grabbed the wrong one, so we'll come back to that. With a horsey here. This with this. That is correct. Anything else I'm changing out? We'll put in a different escape. Here, because those were the wrong ones. Okay. And then is that the one that has the round handle? I didn't really care for that. Honestly, the Akko ones, they're kind of cheap and they do break eventually, but gosh darn it, I like them so much. Oh, I gotta put these back. Yeah, I have that somewhere around here. All right. Got another whole build coming. Gotta make room. Okay, good. All right. So here we go. Pretty nice color match to the rest of the board if you ignore the purple. But let's see how this sounds. Okay, so these are the UC switches from Wingtree. You can definitely tell the difference between them and the Jade Deltas. Jade Delta is a solid switch, but kind of on the loud side for me, but this might be your bag. If it is, and you can afford $1 a switch. The Jade Deltas are very smooth. They have very little stem wobble because of the Delta shape. All right, so and then we have our lighting, which actually is better with the Jade switches with the light diffuser. Let's take a quick look at the software, because I was going to change the colors up and see if I can mitigate this purple on the back. So the software is web-based, and web-based software is great and awful all at the same time. As we learned recently with Drop, part of the problem with web-based software is that if the company goes away, well, guess what? All right, so we went with the side light, always on mode. We're going to go with a green. I guess we'll see. Button light, always on mode. We're going to go with the same green. Crank that light up. Crank that light down. Yeah, that's better. Down's better. So they have a bunch of different lighting modes, and it looks like all of them you can actually do. Oh no, Sometimes if you have color, it doesn't matter. It's just going to do rainbow anyway. That's nice. That's less nice. Okay, I kind of like that. That might actually be what we go with. Yeah. Okay. We'll come back to you. Is our minimum speed? A lot of times when you have the lighting effects, if you even care about lighting effects, not many people, or some people do. I do. Like, this is still way too fast. Like, I have this at 1. This thing should be crawling. I'm not doing key ripples. Or I guess I can do key ripples. There you go. Rainbow roulette. That's nice. Again, it's still way too fast. On the verge of breaking out. Oh, yeah. Neon mode. Rainbow, breathing pattern. Always on. So we'll go back to here. You've got your button configuration. I do like the fact that you do have access to your function layer, which, you know, you should not have to think that that is a good thing, but, you know, it is. So this has by default all your audio stuff up here, along with your My Computer, your browser, etc. I would move all that stuff if I were doing it, and get rid of the insert key because it's a stupid key. Rhythm configuration. So one thing you need to watch out for is that if you're doing a music rhythm, that means that you're enabling a microphone inside of the keyboard or inside of your computer that then needs to react to you. So that can be bad because basically it can listen to you. I do like the fact that it does have a selectable pull rate. But by default, why you would take an 8,000 hertz polling rate and baseline it to 1,000 makes no sense to me. Connection mode is wired, but this is a wired only version, so that's unsurprising. Here's your DKS, your MT, TGL, SOCT, MPT, and end. That's interesting, but here's your selectable items. By default, it is set to the Black King, so it does have a number of switches in here. None of those switches are the switch that I have, but we will go with the Jade key. I don't think it's the Jade. We'll go with this one. Jade's Emperor's Scroll. Sure, why not? Start calibration. pretty straightforward. Set your dead zone, set rapid trigger. You have 3 profiles. Let's go back to your button configuration function. What I do not see on here is your profile. I'm going to open that up for a second. I do not see it. Did y'all see it? I didn't see it. Nope. So, unless it's hiding somewhere, this software does not allow you to hot swap between modes, profiles. So, and by default, it's setting to your base configuration each time. It's less than ideal. I mean, at least, I mean, you have multiple profiles, but then again, most things do at this point. So, yeah. Is there any questions on this keyboard? Oh, I switched modes. I don't like side USBs, but it is what it is. So here's the light bar. We have it set to green. We have the keyboard set to also green to kind of match with the green theme. And then so it doesn't sound bad. I mean, obviously it's a plastic board with foam and silicone in the bottom. It's got a little bit of weight to it because of the silicone in the bottom and the aluminum plate. The light bar is nice. It's diffused except for the purple, kind of locks you into a purplish color theme. We're just gonna set this off to the side so that we can start on the wooting. What? Okay. So, we'll need that. Let's talk about the wooting module. So the wooting module I also got on an auction. So it had not been opened before. I have opened it just to take a look, but let's take a look. So in the accessory pack, you get the wooting braided cable, a giant bag for no particular reason. These are screws for your, if you're going to tray mount it, which you can do, but you don't have to. What has got to be one of the absolute crappiest combination keycap switch pullers that I've ever seen. Feels so cheap. This is a hook for if you have it in with the O-ring to pull it out. Then we have our PCB. Oh, there's one more piece to this puzzle. Well, technically two more pieces to this puzzle. First is a foam pack. So if this is already built, why do you need a foam pack? If you're going to be running this as a tray mount, you will want to this, and it actually goes like this, to replace the foam that comes built in, which we'll take a look at. And then this is the Welcome to Wooting with switches, stickers and postcards and little whatnots that I really like the packaging that does the I'm going to extend as I open. I think that's fun. I'm not sure if we'll be using this foam kit, or if we're going to just do the O-ring mount. I was planning on doing the O-ring mount, but I am open to suggestions. Okay. No, still aren't. Ah, there we go. Alright, we'll set you off to the side for a bit. And we're going to come in here, take a look. I'm sure by now most of you have already seen the wooting, but I did want to take a look at that plate foam. So if you look at the bottom, you'll see basically what amounts to a tape mod, which has already been applied. It comes with screw-in stabilizers already pre-installed. You have all your little fun non-Cannon Crew and the whale. I don't know why the whale. Little code there, a little QR code that I'm not going to scan right now. What almost looks like a cross between a Corgi and Eevee. Who knows? Anyway, but you can see along the edge here the silicone that is going to be for our plate foam, which we're going to take a look at. And I think this is probably the biggest problem that I had with Hipyo's video from earlier today. Obviously I already mentioned it, but not mentioning the fact that this actually hasn't a built-in O-ring mount that you can utilize out of the box. Seems kind of silly to me. Come on. Why this one screw is hidden underneath, I don't know. Oh, to prevent scratches to your case because it's all the way in the front. So like normal, you have a lot of screws holding the positioning plate in place because you do not want your Hall effect to have too much play. Okay, so we should now just be able to remove this. You can see that there is a PE sheet here as well. Sorry, a PET sheet. Then you have your outer silicone. Then you have your inner poron level. Come here, poron level. It goes this way. I think. Oh, no, I had it backwards. I did have it backwards. There we go. Alright, it goes on back like that. So, and then this is a FR4, I believe, plate here. Although, technically, if you can find an alternate GH60, does it? Hold, please. I must check something. Interesting. It does. So if you have standoffs, nope. There are some that are different slightly. So this is the BIM 60 HE 6.25, which is essentially the same as this. And all of them meet up except for this one right here. This is shifted over a little bit. So, I mean, you could still run it if you had standoffs. Oh, in this one. No, I guess you really shouldn't. Never mind. I take it all back. Make sure you're all in there. Get it all back together. As I said, we will be using the we're going to be using the O-ring mount for this build for two reasons. One, because I like gasket mounts better, even for my Hall effect. There's not a whole lot of play, but it is a little bit softer, and I'm not a professional gamer, so I don't give a fuck. And two, because the silicone O-ring is going to act as a dampener for me. Should go all the way in. A lot of screws. Screws. Okay. So there we are. We're all back together. Everything looks good. Make sure that it all does look good. Where are you poking at? I think you're fine. You're fine. There we go. That's what it needs to look like. Okay. So it does come out a little, which would be expected since it is an O-ring mount. Speaking of which, let's talk about our case today. So this is the Alumaze 60 case by Wooting. By the way, Wooting did not send me any of this. This is not sponsored in any way. Nor was the Aula. I got that at an auction. I got all of this stuff at auction, basically. If anything, the Wingtree switches, Unikey sends me, or just started sending me switches. Not those switches, but some switches. So, there's that. And then Epo Maker, we look at the Epo Maker board. They sent me that board. So let's see what's in here. Obviously, this could not necessarily be indicative to your experience because I do not. Well, this one has its wristband band. Since I bought this at an auction, who knows? It's the Wild West. So we have some rings, which look like hamburger gaskets for if you're going to tray mount. Then the pieces to mount this, which we're not going to do because it's stupid. Am I too rude to these companies about this kind of stuff, or am I just... Oh. 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 I might do that, though. So, apparently, this comes with... And this comes out, so watch that. Alternate rubber stopper feet to give you a little bit of a better typing angle. Let's try that. We might switch back, but I like a little bit of a better typing angle. That's nice. So you just pop off, pop in, and now you have a little bit of a better typing angle. This piece comes out and goes back in like this. It comes with a thicker foam and a thinner piece of foam. We are going to use the thicker piece of foam, and the reason for that is because we are going to be O-ring mounting it. I want it to sit on the O-rings instead of sitting on the gaskets on the bottom. So get rid of that. Get rid of this. Also comes with another braided wooting cable, because the first one just wasn't enough. By the way, the person who opened this box was an animal. Animal. Normally, if you're doing a mechanical switch, you want to mount your switches before you put it into the case because of you don't want to pop any sockets. However, that is not a case here, so we can just kind of push it in. Get it in there. Don't do that, Chris. That's dumb. Don't scratch your case first time you're building it. Where's that little hook? Come here, little hook. Let's see if I just scratch my case. Would not be the first time. Just a little. Just a little bit. There's probably something in the instructions that told me not to do that at all. Alright. Barely noticeable. So let's see. We need that to kind of line up. And kind of sits a little bit high. Let's see if it... blinding. Blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a douche in the... Not the actual lyrics. So these are the switches we're going to be using for this build. These are the HMX Creystal switches. I think that the blue in these switches matches the blue in the case very nicely. So, and just like the Gen 1, the Gen 2 wooting board is a north-facing, which I think it's funny, going back to that Hippio video from earlier today, how he has managed to crap on every other time somebody had north-facing RGB, and not the wooting though. Didn't bring it up. He was too busy prying apart keyboards with his bare hands. If you haven't seen the Hippio video yet, you can go watch it later. Not now. Watch me now. Watch me now. So I don't use the crystal switches too often because I have found that the HMX Creystal switches, while they have that nice HMX bottom out, come off as a little plasticky for me. So I have not been using them. But I think that the silicone combined with the die-sub Drop DCD keycaps are going to help mitigate that significantly. This is also a wired-only keyboard, in case that's not been apparent, but I don't think Wooting has not made a wireless keyboard yet. Which, I mean, if you're going to be gaming with this thing, then wired is best. Wired is still king. 8,000 hertz polling rate. This also has 8,000 hertz polling rate. which I think is also selectable in software, which is web-based software. If anybody doesn't know that yet. The Wootility software. Actually, I think there is a downloadable version of the Wootility software, which is nice that they have both. Because again, were something to happen to Wooting, and they're like, yeah, that's it, we're done, wrapping up shop. You know, because no keyboard company has ever exit scammed. So I picked this up at auction because I've been doing a lot more Hall effect stuff without ever having actually had or tried out a Wooting keyboard. And I'm like, I really should. Because if it's the gold standard, maybe I should get on that so that we have a point of comparison. All right. You can already hear it. But let's do our novelties first. This is spacebar. So are there different spacebar? What colors? We could do. Let's do an orange spacebar. What do you say? Hold on. Do this right, do this proper. It is the way. Oh, that's a tight-ass fit. Okay. So if you've not seen the Drop DCD Walkman keycap set yet, it's like an 80s retro Sony Walkman themed keycap set, which I'm here for. So we're gonna go with our little happy guy here. All right. And the main set. So this set features a gray alert row. If you didn't already pick that up, but Who do you? What's going on? Yo, hello. I am live on Twitch and on YouTube, everybody. You think I'm going too swift, huh? Or stiff, huh? I can always change it. But in the case of a Hall effect, you really kind of want it to be stiff. By the way, sorry to my YouTubers. I buried the window, so I gotta go open that in a second. We'll take a look at it. All right. And I'm doing all right. So here's the board. So we have our little Walkman themed keycaps. I think it's a pretty good match for the case. You've got the gray feet, which match the gray alert row, or all the gray feet. We can switch back to the lesser feet if we feel it's necessary. And then you have the lights. Let's see if you... Now there really is nice lighting on here. The white plate really reflects the light, especially when combined with the light spreader and the fact that the DCD drop die-sub keycaps are white on the underneath, so they reflect the light back down to the plate, which kind of allows it to do this glow. However, I did have some issues with the lighting actually changing, but we'll take a look at that. But let me go ahead and I'm gonna note that. Let's do that. So, sorry, yeah. Zariel, going back through some old stuff. I don't even know if y'all are still around. But, you know, if you're going for a Hall effect, stiffness is important because you don't want to mess with the halo of the Hall effect. So, staying... and then we'll be doing a typing test on both of them in, like, right now. So this is the Wooting with the O-ring silicone mount with the thick case foam, HMX Creystal switches, and Drop DCD Walkman. So that's the Wooting. And then we have the Aula. Now keep in mind, these are Wingtree UC switches, and these are the Jade Deltas. As another point of comparison, though, let's go back and grab this. So this is also gasket mounted, but this is actually a actual I was going to say actual gasket mount, but basically it's the sock gasket mount. There's the words I'm looking for. This is a sock gasket mount keyboard. This is the Geon Venom, which has the the Wingtree UC switches in it, and you can hear the same sort of DNA in both of them because they both have the same switches and they're both die sub keycap sets. Moving on to something a little bit more, in my mind, interesting. So this is the HE108. This is a 100. This is a full-sized Hall effect keyboard made by Epomaker, and I put on the glorious Afterparty die sub keycaps. It originally came with some polycarbonate keycaps. Not a big fan of polycarbonate keycaps. They're too high pitched. They're nice on the board, but they're not my style. And then but I left the original switches because these have the essentially they made a Hall effect version of the creamy Jade switch. Oh wait, hold on. When I open up that, I didn't do that. Okay, sorry. And then you can hear how this is a little bit more plasticky, and that is really the switch's fault. We can try other switches in here, but I found that the Creamy Jade, which are right here, don't really bring too much more to the party. Because I thought about building it with those. Where's the real? There's. Hey, what's going on, man? Oh, well, have a great day at work. So, when we have it in here. It's kind of a deep cloppy rock, which I kind of like. In here, it's all right. It may actually be worth it to try it, but if we tried it, I would probably need to... Let's do this. So this is how you get the board out if you have it O-ring mounted. Carefully and with much malice, trying not to ruin the board, trying not to get that. So let's see what it sounds like with 0 case foam. It louder, but not, and more high pitched, but not. I mean, it's better than the crystals probably. Let's see how we feel about the Uchi switches in it. What do you say? I love trying different switches. Now I did consider going with the Uchi switches and just unbuilding that for this build, but decided against it. So here's the crystal. Here are the Epo Maker Creamy Jade Hall Effect. And here are the Wingtree UC switches. Which is interesting. When you compare it, because it loses the softness that it has in the other boards. I don't know if y'all can tell that from what I'm doing, but interesting. Let's see. Do we want to try something else in here? I do not want to try Geon Raws. But we can try the Deltas. And Novas. Not the Owl Labs Novas, not the Keytalk Novas. I do not have any Keytalk Novas. Let's grab the Novas. See how they are. What do you think? Y'all are in a ad break. Look at that. Welcome back if you were in an ad. We're just going to be trying the Owl Labs Novas alongside the HMX Creystal and the Gateron Jade Deltas. So this is the crystals. Here are the Owl Labs Novas. These are not the Keytalk Novas. And these are the Gateron Jade Deltas. These end up being kind of thinnish, a little bit more staccato. This you can almost hear some scratch in it. And these just are a little bit plasticky. But the plasticky is mitigated somewhat by the silicone. Part of me kind of likes the Novas. Any thoughts on any from anyone? I'm going to grab a Coke real quick, because I drank the last of my other Coke. All right. Put that all up there. How's our light bleed looking? Still looks fine with all the keys. These keys are the Novas, these are the Jade Deltas, and these and everything else is crystals. But well, now I've talked myself into using Novas. Spacebar's not quite as good. Looks like it's on the way. Okay, let's take a look real quick. By the way, I want to thank you all again for joining me today. I just love building keyboards. I'd probably be doing it even if I wasn't streaming it, but matter of fact, I can guarantee it. So can Freya. Y'all ever seen Friends? This is like a pivot, pivot, pivot. If y'all are unfamiliar with that, I mean, it's fine. Okay. All right, let's see how we feel about this. Yeah. Right, these are the G deltas. That's why they sounded a little weird. All right. So these came with the Hall effect module for the Neo 65. So these are included with the Sonic. Let's just... Why am I beating around the bush? Just do them all. We're just going to do a quick rebuild. Shouldn't take me but 5 minutes. 5 minutes, whatevs. It's cool. It's all cool, man. As much as I like the matching switch, I do like a good sound better. Sound is important to me. It is, I won't say more important than feel, but it is as important as feel for me. I don't know if any of you are like that, but a bad sounding keyboard, and this is kind of, and this is kind of part of what got me into keyboards in the first place. Like some bad sounding keyboards are like nails on a chalkboard. For me, it was a combination actually of so I had an old K55 membrane keyboard, Corsair membrane keyboard, and I'd had it for maybe 2 years, and the keys were getting sluggish, and it just sounded bad. The sound that came out of it, it felt bad. It just was an overall disappointing keyboard. And so I went ahead and I was at Micro Center, because we have a Micro Center here in the Metro Denver area, which is where I live. For those of you who don't know, I'm not really doxing myself since we have keyboard meetups here about every month, and I advertise them as much as possible because I love seeing people who are also into keyboards. The next one is in the south near Colorado Springs that I may or may not be able to attend because that is the last weekend of May is the same weekend as Denver Fan Expo. And they're going to have the entire cast of the X-Files, pretty much, except for the Lone Gunman. They're going to have most of the cast of the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, except for Ian McKellen and Viggo Mortensen, but all the Hobbits and Orlando Bloom and John Rhys Davies. What else? They have a ton of boys there. I don't care about that, except for Carl Urban because he's the new Bones. Well, he was the new Bones. May still be the new Bones? Who knows? Anyway, he's Judge Dredd? New Judge Dredd? New old Judge? I don't know. Anyway, tons of people there. They just announced Felicia Day is going to be coming. She's always great on panels. Christopher Judge, who's Teal'c on Stargate, is going to be there. It's just going to be like a total fan expo. You know, because it's kind of in the name. Anyway, that Freya and I are going to be going to see that. And so depending on what's happening on the Sunday, and usually by Sunday, we've been walking around for 4 days, and I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm old and overweight and out of shape, and I have a lot of lower back problems and diabetic neuropathy. So all that combined together means that after walking around for miles for days, I'm kind of over it. So in past years, we've kind of did one more round through the dealer's room, maybe saw one panel if they had somebody super awesome that only happened to be on Sunday, and then we were out. And even then, sometimes the juice just wasn't worth the squeeze, so we were out. Now, since then, I mean, you can't really see it because I'm sitting down. I've lost a ton of weight. Like, since I started on Mounjaro, which I have for my type 2 diabetes, I've lost around 125 pounds. So, like, I've lost an entire schoolgirl's worth of weight. Unfortunately, most of the damage to my lower back has already been done. So that kind of sucks. Because I'm in my 50s. I know, you can't really tell it. I look great. So yeah, point is that we're usually done by Sunday. And while carrying, because normally when we go to keyboard meetups, I bring like 15 keyboards, usually about 15. So carrying 15 keyboards into a meetup is also going to be not great. But I don't actually have to bring 15 keyboards. I can always bring less. Now, I know what you're saying. Can you bring less? The answer is maybe. There's a lot of things I love to show off, like this. If I end up going to that meetup, I am almost certainly going to be bringing this. I am almost certainly going to be bringing, well, I might bring that. Actually, do we want to give the base model, like the original model of this, away? Does anybody want this? How would y'all feel about that if we did a giveaway today for this, not with the Rohan or the switches, but with the original, these and the original keycaps, which are over there somewhere. So we can certainly do that. Freya was just telling me I need to get rid of some keyboards around here. Okay. But for now, for first, let's take a look at this. This is the... Alright. You get out of the way. I didn't even show you the best part about the Epo Maker yet. Man, that thing lights up pretty. So, this is the Wooting 60HE V2 in the Alumaze 60 case with the enhanced feet and the Owl Labs Nova switches and Drop DCD Walkman WLK.WN. Let's try that. Wait, let's go ahead and pause the music. Okay, here we go. Okay. Spacebar has a tick. These have not been lubed. This is all stock, by the way. Including the switches. They are the stock switches that came in with the Sonic module, but they are stock. So, that being said, let's go ahead and take a look. Not at that. At that. And then we'll start up the music again because we're going to take a look at the utility. Go for utility. Oh, a utility update is available. I don't know what that means. Oh. So, let's go ahead and update. Well, the browser. Goes into the bootloader. Pretty straightforward. Now, I actually updated this 2 days ago. So it's nice that they do have a really good upgrade path. I'm not sure how good it is for the V1s. But let's go to utility. All right. So you have your actuation point, which you need to select all the keys. Then we can set our actuation point. I am going to leave it at 1.2. That's probably something I set. And this is my typing profile. Then you have my rapid trigger profile, which is 0.6. That is correct. Rapid trigger is correct. Tachyon mode maximizes input speed by prioritizing key press response. It reduces keyboard brightness and disables RGB effects for optimal performance. I don't want that. Fuck that. If you can't do it without your lights on, why do you have lights in the first place, bastard? Just kidding. That is the quick settings. You got your advanced keys. All the same stuff as the Aula. Pretty much everybody's got this stuff now. I'm not sure if y'all are in an ad break right now or not, but we'll keep going. Hopefully not. Oh, but we want to go back to our typing profile. Again, you can select your function layer. I have mine. Yeah, this has still got my same, all my same settings, because I configured this. By default, the first time you connect a Wooting keyboard up, it actually gives you several options of a default layout, how you want to play it. None of them are really what I wanted, but they were alright. And then you've got your... this is what I was talking about on the Aula. That is not on the Aula, but is on the Wooting. And that is the selectable profiles. You can have 4. By default, you have 2. And you can add new profiles for different things if you want. Right now, I only have profiles 1 and 2 configured. You've got your brightness, lower and brighter. Cycle through different modes. So, I mean, pretty much all the stuff that you want out of your keyboard. You have your gamepad mode. This is for your analog. You can only select from 2 polling rates. You've got 1,000 or 8,000. You got over the top or under the top. Hey, that's dumb. We want NK rollover. In case y'all just missed it, there's only 2 options for polling rate, 8,000 and 1,000. It's selectable, which is nice. But the fact that you can't select from 1, 2, 4, or 8, I mean, I'm not asking for like precise control. I'm like 2,000 is great, 2,000 is nice, 1,000. I mean, it's okay. It's just a little low. Like, 2,000 is great for me for gaming, because I'm not a professional gamer, so I do not need an 8,000 hertz polling rate. But 2,000 is good. So yeah. Anyway, because one thing that we're doing here is we are going to be looking at, and I'm going to bring up some of the other softwares so that we could take a look. We've already looked at the Aula, and we can go back to it if we need. You can add profiles by dragging and dropping, which is nice. You can import them. Selectable devices if you have more than one that you're using. Selectable actuation points, we've already gone through that. You can do your visual feedback, I guess, somewhere. I don't understand. Okay, never mind. Whatever. So apparently this doesn't work. Or it does, I'm sure. I'm just not seeing how to do it. I don't understand. I have a key selected. Okay, anyway. Well, that, I mean, it's still, it's a little bit disappointing. But I like the fact that under your remap, all bets are off on every layer. One thing that is super nice, the downside of 8K polling rate, really the only downside is that it uses a little bit more CPU cycles. Keyboards less so than mice. So when you run super high polling rates, it's using clock cycles to do those polling rates. So the more things you have at higher hertz polling rates, the less performance you have available for the things you actually want to do. That's really the only downside. Keyboards, again, less so than mice and other input devices, because you're moving around constantly, that polling is more pronounced. What's up, Klex? I don't know what O/ means. Am I wrong? You could tell me I'm wrong. I don't mind. So one thing I really wanted to show you that's kind of neat, and we're going to drop this down a little bit. So let's see if I can get it to show. But if you notice the lighting effect, each one has a different color. So when you push your function, it actually changes the lighting so that you can see what items you have selected. Now, these are addressable. So I said that I wanted all my media controls to be green. I wanted my navigation cluster to be blue. I wanted my function row to be purple, etc. But the fact that it's that's nice. Like that's a nice quality of life feature that I would love to see on other boards, on any board, to be honest. It's like an old school text emote. What is like an... Oh, like an emoji. I just don't... Oh, I get it. Out of all the emojis I've seen in my entire life, and I've been doing this since BBSing days, since, you know, MIRC, that would be a salute. Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. That makes gosh darn sense. So, like on the EPO Maker, and all of them pretty much, well, a lot of them have this now. You'll see that I do have per key RGB selected on, so that it actually does the lighting effect for the individual keys here. The lighting is just a little bit off because it has the Creamy Jade, and the Creamy Jades are a light blue switch. So this light blue housing tints the RGB. So keep that in mind if you're ever doing RGB stuff and you care. Frustrated Mike Wazowski. I don't know who Mike Wazowski is. Sometimes I'm old. Alright, so this is... Oh. Actually, it's not gonna be you. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, that's where my brain went. because I normally do the frustrated face a lot. Nope, that's not the right one. So EPO Maker has chosen to go with a downloadable software only, which is good and bad. But you've got your selectable switch settings. Unfortunately, it is just these switches and doesn't take into account anything else. Yes, I mean, that's the thing. This software can be used completely offline. Wooting, I think, has a downloadable version of their software. Yes, there is a downloadable Wootility app installer, which is has a Windows, Mac, and Linux downloadable file, so that's good. Aula does not, and Mons Geek, I don't believe theirs works offline. So here's what I was talking about before, about the selectable rate. So here we can, like I have mine set to 2,000 because I think that is the maximum reasonable amount that my abilities would ever care about. 2,000 is a great trade-off. I don't think I need more. So, but I do want more than 1,000. Oh, that'd be interesting. You only have access to one function layer on this board, though, and you have certain keys that are blocked out, like enter, backspace. They're assigned as system keys, and you cannot change them, which is stupid and wrong and dumb. What's even more stupid and wrong and dumb is that some of the keys that are allowed to be changed are the profile selection keys, and when you change them, if you go into your keyboard settings and you want to change your keys, where's my it's in there. Oh, here we go. No, that's the same thing. No, that's right. Yeah. So you can select the key here, and you can replace it down here. But the problem is that the profile options are not among them. So if you change your functions from being able to select your profile, you can't ever change it back. Oh, I didn't. We were still considering whether or not we were going to do a giveaway today. So ignore that stream elements. That's old. We can still give away the Aula Hero84HE in the stock configuration if people are interested. If y'all want, I can put together that giveaway. That would be big, I guess. So those are my frustrations with this software. So I would say that the overall, I would say that there are trade-offs for utility versus EpoMaker, and see, but I don't ever get milestone streams because it's not like I really get people like I got two I got like two people sorry, get rid of this. I got two new followers last time, and I haven't had a subscriber for a couple of streams now. So it's not like I get all that much. So this is the Mons Geek M1 V5 TMR. So this is actually a TMR board. Let me disconnect it for a sec. Currently, it is configured with the Haimu Moonlight. I think it's Haimu. The Haimu Moonlight, which are essentially the their equivalent of the Reds. So they're pretty much silent and have a small tactile bump. Here, let me see it. Not really. It's not really anything to hear. But what you can do is pop it out. They are. I mean, they're. I haven't tried the XVX ones. But they look mostly the same. The plastic on this is thinner, cheaper. When you're inserting them, not when you're using them. Like, it's important to make that distinction. When you're inserting them, they have a tendency to bottom out and then stick like this. And then you kind of got to pop it and like thump it until it pops back out. And then it's fine because it's then seated. I've never had it stick down after it's gotten that initial seat. But you can then take, like, you know, your good old trusty KeyGeek Y3 switch, drop that in there, and hey, you're now running mechanical. Which is the awesome thing about TMR, if it's implemented. So it doesn't have to be implemented. Different companies implement different aspects of TMR. One thing that TMR also does is it doesn't really care about the orientation. Hey, look, there it did. Let's see if I can get it out. Come on, there you go. So, I do like these switches. They kind of still have a sound to them. I think that they may lack the silencing rings that the reds have. So that might be a thing to get some. But since I love my RGB, I'm kind of stuck for it. So on the Monsgeek board, this is a very common thing that people complain about, is that you have this red light that's showing you that the battery's charging. The M1V5 is, of course, a ball catch keyboard. As well, no, it's not. Yeah, it's not. What do you call it? Pogo connected, but it is ball catch, so easily changeable. And then got a very nice little knob. I like the fact that it's big. I love a big... No, I'm not going to say that. But, let's see... So here's the software for the Monsgeek. You may notice that this looks a lot like the EpoMaker software. And that is because while it is web-based, it essentially is using the same back end of the EpoMaker. Yeah. As a matter of fact, if you go into the lighting effects and you were to log in, you can actually pull the same lighting layouts from the EpoMaker or from the Monsgeek. Like, they share the same database. Which is interesting when I found that out. Yes, they still have... They have even more blocked out, but it's different ones that are blocked out. I can actually almost get on board with some of these, except for L. Fuck them for blocking off my L. But, yeah. And that's because I have a tendency to turn my OP bracket L semicolon and apostrophe into my navigation cluster. Now I have these already configured for volume controls here, but I didn't do these. I don't know why. And this just has it listed as media, so you definitely are not getting your profile switching options there. But yeah, overall, it's the same. Oh, because I didn't log in. I'm not going to log in now. So this utilizes an Internet of Things plugin that is required in order to utilize it. So you do have to install software. It's just a driver. It does have macros. You do have different profiles. But on here, they call them layers, which is so confusing. So you have layer 1 through 4, and that is actually your alternate profiles. Then you have your magnetic switch settings. Same problem here. But the one thing that you might notice is not available here, that I have not found, is the ability to change your polling rate. So the polling rate on this is static. So that's kind of a failure of this keyboard. I would say that obviously, since this lacks some of the features that the EPO Maker software does have, that it's obviously not going to be nearly as good as the Wootility software. Which that now is going to bring us to this. So this is my custom Geon Venom 60 HE keyboard. I have this in a Desktop Tribe DT60 case, which means that it's gasket mounted. The gasket is super stiff, but it's there. Currently I have the Wing Tree UC switches in it. And I think it sounds really nice with the Keeps Roll KFA PBT die sub white on navy. So you'll notice that there is a light that appears in the caps lock area. That does not mean that it's on. When it's on, it'll actually be a lighter blue, and that's assignable. But that tells you what profile you're currently operating in. Profile, which for me, I currently have configured for function layer 2, numbers 1 through 4. Now, let's go take a look at that software. I already had it up. Did you see how quickly that came up? It was just like boop, and it's up. Welcome back for everybody who's back. So this has selectable profiles, 4 selectable profiles. You can set your default presets if you want them. You can also export and import your presets as a JSON file. You have your selectable actuation point. You just select your switches. This is my burst profile. It's always set to 1.2 because that's how I roll. And I mentioned this on a couple of different discords. And the reason I select 1.2 millimeters as my default, 1.2 millimeters is the standard actuation distance for speed silver switches. So most of the speed silver switches that I've ever run across use a 1.2 millimeter actuation point distance as opposed to a standard 2 millimeter actuation point distance. So that is why I use it. And then when I use my rapid trigger, I either do 0.8 or 0.6, depending on how I'm feeling. I do not have rapid trigger on in my standard mode. Standard 0.02 dead zone set. And then here is the best thing. The absolute best is that you can select whatever your distance is. So like on other software, right? They're like, oh, do you have a Jade Pro? Do you have a Jade? Forget that. What is the distance? What is your distance? There. Done. Boom. So let's see. In this particular case, I have the Unikeys, tree, let me see, switches. By the way, Unikeys has sent me switches. They did not send me these switches. I paid for these switches. So my total travel is 3.6 millimeters. So now I can go back over to my software and go, okay, I have all my keys selected. This is currently set to 3.9. Well, that's not right anymore because that was when I had the reds in there. We're going to drop that down to 3.6. Boom. Selectable by distance. No other company is doing this. And I don't know why. That is freaking genius. I mean, it's not genius. It's something that should just be being done. Honestly. So then you can remap your keys. You can remap up to 4 layers for each profile in any way you want. Again, genius. You can, here's your profile selections. Genius. I mean, again, it's not really genius. It's just what should be. Here's all your standard guys. Sock, ASOC, DKS, tap hold, OKS, and add a modifier to a normal key for shortcut functionality. I don't even know what that means. You can add focus keys to tell it up to 10 keys that you want to prioritize it scanning for. That's interesting and useful. Again, you have your caps lock for each profile, and then the indicator for caps lock, which is selectable. That's nice. I'm on firmware 88, so this has got 92, so let's go ahead and do that. Switches into bootloader. We're going to go with our stable, because I don't need beta firmware on keyboards. That sounds like a horrible idea. Okay. So it puts us back in, puts us back to this. Now it's time to talk about the one elephant in the room. The one thing that was not in here at all that I'm very sad about. And that is this. Speed, high speed, 8,000 hertz. Okay. What if I wanted it to be 2,000 hertz? Geon? Well, tough shit. Yes, they do not have a selectable polling rate. It is 8,000 hertz, and that is what it's going to be. That is probably the only flaw with this software. I find it easy to navigate. I find it easy to use. It has advanced features. The only thing that would have made this better was to have a selectable polling rate. I would say, pound for pound, I would still, even though that is a thing, I would still take the Venom web-based software over the utility software. What do y'all think? If for no other reason than the this, because I've had so much frustration where I've been looking up switches that I don't even like the TTC switches. I hate those things, man. Those things sound like crap. I had some. I gave them away. And then just to find out what the maximum actuation or maximum total travel is, so that I can try and find the one that is closest to the switches that I have. And then for things like reds, where it's 3.9 millimeters, there were never any. Like 3.6, there have been some, like 3.5, obviously the Jades. And the fact that they have Jade and Jade Max, which both have maximum travel, a total travel of 3.5 millimeters, and they do this on other boards, doesn't make any sense. But anyway, enough of my ranting on that and how awesome this is for that. I mean, everything else is pretty much the same as your other softwares are going to be, except for maybe one. Let's do this just because. So take you out of the place, put you in place. You go back there. So this is the Varmillo Hall Effect board, and this has Geon Raws in it. And that is only because I wanted to have the... this is about as good as it's ever going to be. There's not really... It is what it is. I bought it. I bought it because it's pretty. I liked the back, which you can't see, and I'm going to show you. I liked this. I thought it was like really cool looking. It was an impulse buy. The last day of CES, I bought it out of the Gateron booth. Do I still have the Varmillo software installed? So this is actually looks a little bit better than it did before when I was checking it out when I first did the unboxing, probably a few months ago by now. And this has multiple layers. They're all selectable. You have 2 layers for Mac or Windows, 2 layers for Mac. You can set your special keys. You can set macros. You can set performance. You can add configs, but there's no way to hot swap between configs. And then here's that you don't get what the actual total travel is. You just got to kind of wing it. You can put on your dead zone. You can put on your bottom protection. I don't know what that means. It sounds like a depends type situation. What does that mean? So yeah, I mean, this is kind of crap. Just as a, but even it has selectable polling rates, and it can select 2000 polling rate, which means that it's in some ways better. Okay, yes. I don't know what light speed mode is. So, I mean, as far as it goes, it is less user-friendly, but at the same time, you have all your basic things here. Yeah, it's funny how none of them have all the things that I would want. Now, granted, maybe I'm asking too much. I don't know. I mean, I want it to be user-friendly. I want it to be good. I want to enjoy it. I mean, if only Geon would add selectable polling rates, then they would have, hands down, the best software. And I still think they have the best software. I think they have eclipsed Wootility. But that is just me. And now you have seen the Varmillo. My little dark secret. My impulse buy. But let's go back. Let's go back to the Wooting, since that is where we're starting off. The Wooting. Once again, it's connected. It has some nice things. I love its lighting. It's got a very nice glow to it. Raka is one of the ones I have not tried. It just hasn't shown up on my radar. Like this keyboard, the Aula, which we'll go ahead and, well, we won't even plug it in yet. For those of you who missed it, the top two rows are the wing trees because I ran out of the Gateron deltas, but not a bad sound. A little loud. I kind of like the Wooting a little bit more, but it's certainly serviceable. With the original switches in it, which are these, they are, it's the same kind of loud, just it's a little bit plasticier. Have you tried the Raka HE stuff, Klex? Probably my biggest problem with this keyboard is the purple top kind of locks you into a purple theme. I think that the coloring on the rest of the case goes very well. I haven't tried the Seo device yet either. Now, if either of those companies wanted to send me a board, I would totally be down with comparing them to everything. But I think these both came out pretty well. Would I recommend them? I would definitely recommend the Hero 84, because, let's see. Currently on Amazon, you can get the Aula Hero84HE for $65. Now, compared to this, where the Wooting so the Wooting module that's in here right now, that's $120. So you're already almost twice as much with this. Now, you still don't have a case yet because that was the module. So if we let's go ahead and add that to our cart. And then let's go into cases, because I know the answer to this. The blue Alumaze, which here, let me... The blue Alumaze case is $100. So that is gonna bring us up to about 3 times the cost of this keyboard. And we still don't have switches or keycaps. Now, granted, in these particular cases, the switches and keycaps are... well, this came with switches and keycaps that you could just roll out of the gate with, right? So, if we went through and picked up some of their switches, don't get the comm switches, they're shit. But you can get a set of lacquer. So you need a 70 pack. So that's another $40. And then we're not going to bother changing out the actually, it doesn't matter. So $40 for die sub, black on white. So that is going to be $250, or $66. See, this is the reason why I'm like, you're not getting no. Oh, it is. Yeah, that was GIS layout. It didn't matter to me. The standard ANSI layout is also $40, so the important thing was I was getting die sub. Now, let's see if we're gonna go over to I'm tempted. I'm tempted. But no. We're gonna go. It's sold out right now, but can't do it then. Yeah, so for the same price, you can get the Kafka. Well, you can't now, it's sold out, but you could get the Kafka. And there are others that are in the same, similar vein, which is an aluminum with a nice wood front to it. Comes with the Venom 65, 65%. Comes with the switches, comes with the WOB keycaps. Same price as the Wooting. And then you get the Venom software, which, in my opinion, is better. Is there... How about... What... I'm looking for something you can actually get in stock. This might be a bad comparison. Ooh, what? Where was that at? Geon, Tiger, White. That was here. Nah, it's out of stock. But this is a good value. It's a TKL though, so you're looking significantly larger in size. But at the end of the day, unless you're getting something like the Gateron Deltas, which are $1 a switch, you could still come in way under that 250 price. Actually, even with that, you could still come in under that 250 price point for the Wooting. Apparently, there's a lot of Hall effect that's out of stock. What about our friends over at Novelties? I don't think they have any Hall effect boards. Kinkies? I mean, you should probably just get this instead, because it's so cute. How about, let's go to the PCBs here. Sorry, I got distracted for a minute. Well, I still couldn't afford it, but it would be cute overload. Gaming with, you know. I think I would have to go with orange. Oh, you know, you know who has boards right now? Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. By the way, I have one of these coming. I have one of these coming in some point. There are, yes, I don't think I've ever seen one. Well, did I tell you that Pete's working on an HE implementation for ZMK? Yeah, I mean, it's, whoa, I mean, it's still way early. He's the one who I gave all those switches to, all those HE switches, so that he could test it on different boards with different implementations. But he mentioned it to me at a meetup a few months ago. Okay, so if you wanted to get the Zoom 64 with the Flux 60HE, which has pretty nice software. If you didn't see Hipio's video this morning, he actually went through some of the, or glanced at the software. He really didn't do much for it, but anyway, he glanced at the software, and so does that come with the switches? My card is empty. Wah, wah. Okay. Okay, there we go. So that's bundled. Now let's get the switches, and I think that should bundle as well. I mean, I kind of want Kulinen switches just for the name. I don't think it's an Alu PCB. So we'll get the... Well, that's going to make it all expensive. Let's see. Can we get other switches? By the way, big lucky linears, very clacky. If you like clacky, they're your switch. So this is more expensive. Yeah. But all in all, I think that, and I won't know until I actually get it, I think that the Zoom 64 case is going to be an overall better case, although a little chunkier than the Alumaze case. But let's see, what else can we... I hate that thing. So this is 125, fully built. Comes with the switches that we're actually using in here. Comes with these janky ass polycarbonate keycaps that are serviceable, but not great. In the Neo 65, which we all love because it's the Neo 65. Even if it does have a slightly different back weight, you can replace this weight with one of the Neo 65 weights if you can find them. Keeps where I used to carry them, actually. It's where I got my brass one. And then of course, you know, our good friends over at Gateron. $75. Wow, do you need a Hall Effect numpad? Because that's a thing. Let's go with a 60. So they're 60% fully built with their janky switches. Is $219. Still cheaper, but their launcher is just as good. I could go grab a Hall Effect Keychron, but I think I'm going to be wrapping it up here soon. But there's competitive everything competitions. All right. All in all, out of these two, price-wise, based on the fact that this configuration, just to build it, would probably cost you 3 to 4 times as much as this configuration, I would say that the Aula Hero 64 is the better build. However, or not 64, 84. However, I would say that I would go with something completely different over either of them. Again, the EPO Maker is their Hall Effect. They have a new TMR board that's coming out that we'll be looking at hopefully in about a month. They have the 108, and then I think you can go back over here. I'm gonna switch over to this guy because I no longer like function rows. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but give me FRL any day now. Now the EPO Maker software is jankier. Yeah, since I bought this at an auction, I could not get one that had the split space for the price that I was willing to pay, which was like $80 for the module. But paying $80 for the Wooting V2 module, it was a steal, if you ask me. So their HE Lite keyboard, which, let's see, does the HE Lite come with the Creamy Jade switches? No, they do not, which is disappointing, but there's always MagForce. Now the MagForce is even jankier. Oh, they don't sell that anymore. They probably got rid of it. Oh no, this was the Hall Effect version. This did come with Creamy Jade Hall Effect switches. Oh no, this came with Jade Pros. Ugh. I mean, not bad, just... The Creamy Jades are so good in the boards that they're in. Magnetics. Apparently it's currently... Ooh, wait a minute. Oh no, that's actually the Creamy Jades. I thought for a second they were selling the Creamy Jade Hall Effects. And I'm like, ooh, wait a minute. Freya's gonna hate me. But anyway, this is the only board that you can get right now, which is the full, which is the one back there. It comes with the Creamy Jade. In a little bit, you're gonna have the new TMR board, which I'm not sure if it's going to be Magnum-X, but it is almost certainly not going to be split space. Which I do prefer split space. Split space is my peak, and then 7U, then 6.25, maybe 10, then 6.25, but I haven't tried a 10. I need to get a 10. Anyway, I think I'm going to be wrapping it up. I think we've gone through pretty much everything that I think I accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish during this stream. So, let's see if anybody else is streaming right now. We have a Real Force TKL. Looks like it. I think this is a Spanish streamer. CG Buin. So, thanks everybody for joining me on the stream. It's awesome that y'all were here. I love the interactivity. That is one of my favorite parts of streaming, is talking to y'all while I'm building keyboards. And next week, I think we are going to be looking at the new Newfie board, the Node 75. It is interesting because I'll have hopefully a bunch of the 3D printed parts for that, which is going to be kind of the cool aspect. that and the touch screen, but more so that I kind of like adding little things to mine. So until next week, I will likely see y'all either on Discord or joining your streams if I assume Shark is going to have a few. So yeah, till then, thanks everybody. Y'all are awesome, and I really appreciate having y'all by. Yes, and that's he's working on HHKV, I think, maybe.